Thanks for that cone. Welcome back, travel fans. I'm Morgan from the very unofficial Travel Guides. Today we're going to talk about my little Disney dilemma and your pictures. Disney dilemma. It sounds very dramatic, but don't worry, it's really not a big deal. It's a totally first world problem, and it's just some things that Marcus and I have been talking about and thinking about for our next Disney trip. And in addition to that, on my Facebook during the week this week, I posted a status saying, show me one of your favorite vacation pics from your last vacation, and I'll pick out some of my favorites and talk about them here. And so I'm going to do that in the end. And let me just tell you in advance, you guys sent so many pictures. I went through again this morning and there are just so many. So I picked out more than a handful and we're going to talk about those. But let's start with the Disney dilemma. Marcus and I are starting to plan our next big Disney trip. It's something we try to do every, I guess we average like about every year and a half. And we haven't been there since January of 2017. So it's been a year and a half now. And we're thinking of going sometime in the fall. So Toy Story Land will be open at Hollywood Studios. Of course, Star Wars won't be opening until 2019, so we're not going to wait for that. We're going to go in advance. And I have made videos about this before. I think I've made videos about this before, that we always stay on property, and we see so many benefits to staying in one of the official Disney resorts and using the Disney transportation and getting access to things like the extra magic hours and the dining plan. Those kind of things are some of the many reasons why we like to stay on property. Another reason is just because then, like, your whole day from morning to night is sort of crafted by Disney, and they do an excellent job at helping you forget the real world, and everything is clean and fancy and themed, and that's just one of the reasons that those are many of the reasons why we always stay on property. Also, when we've stayed at Universal, we've tried to stay in Universal official properties as well, just because you know what you can expect. However, there are other ways to do it than we've always done it, and so now we're talking about, as we're planning this trip, if we want to do it like we've always done it, or if maybe it's time to try something new. And these are the variations that we are talking about. Should I show you variations again? This is what comes out of my body when I'm talking about variations. One idea we had is, I love to make videos of the different resort rooms. I love to make the room tours, and I know that you guys like to watch them too, because it helps you guys know what to expect if you're planning to book a Disney vacation. And I have made room tours or resort area tours of Port Orleans Riverside, Port Orleans French Quarter, Coronado Springs, what else? Animal Kingdom Lodge, and I think that's it actually. But I like to do those things, and I just like to stay at the different resorts because they all are kind of magical in their own special way. And so one idea that we had is to, if we're going to be in Florida, let's say like 10 days, and we definitely have that, we have vacation days that we need to use up, so 10 days is a realistic time. We were thinking of maybe like staying one night at one of like the really expensive resorts like the Polynesian, and doing a room tour and enjoying the experience. Then we were thinking of like maybe the next day then doing one of the really inexpensive resorts like the Pop Century sports resort or something like that, and doing a nice comparison. What is it that you get for $110 a night? What is it you get for $450 a night? I think that would be an interesting comparison, not only just to do, but also to show you guys too. So what do you think about that idea? Disadvantage. Well, one advantage is then, so after those 2 nights, we would then pick just one resort, like probably the Coronado Springs again, because we haven't stayed there in a while and we really enjoyed staying there. And then that's where we would stay for the rest of the time. One advantage, to go back to what I was just saying, is that we are on Disney property the entire time and stay within that magical bubble, which makes us so happy. And one disadvantage is checking in and checking out of resorts just takes so much time, and it's gonna, how would that even work? So like if we check into the Polynesian, we can't check in probably until like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So we, go to the parks and leave our bags there maybe. Then come home after the parks and it's already dark. So it's going to be hard to do like a full-on room tour because it'll be so dark. And then the next morning when we wake up, then we have to check out. So we have to do that before we go to the park, or we just don't go to the park. Maybe the best way to do it is just plan to not go to the parks on those days. I don't know, just do like dedicated hanging out at the resorts days. And I know that can be fun too. So I don't know. It just seems like the checking in and the checking out and the moving of all our stuff would just be so high maintenance. You know what I mean? And so that's sort of like a disadvantage to that. And like I said, I'm not complaining. I'm not whining about having to make this decision. I'm not, like, oh, this is so stressful. How will I ever get through this? It's not like that at all. I'm really looking forward to it. I just, I don't know, just going through the things in my head and trying to pick out what would maybe be the best option. So that is one of the things that we are thinking of. Sorry, I think I have something in my eye. The allergies have been so bad this year in Hamburg. There's just so much crap in the air, and everybody I know is dealing with it, including me. All right, another thing we were thinking is to not stay on Disney property, which is something that we've never done. We were thinking of renting one of those vacation homes and having, like a gigantic home and a pool, like I said, which is something that we've never done. And I think one advantage is then cost probably the same as staying in a Disney moderate resort, or maybe even less. And then we have a gigantic house and our own pool and, more privacy and maybe more quiet. And we can, make our own breakfast in the morning. And, I don't know. I'm sure there's a lot of advantages to that. And it's just something we've never considered, because then every night, we leave that magical Disney bubble and have to get into a car and then drive to a house. And that's something that, I don't know, I can't get my head around, thinking that we would need to have a car and that we would be driving every morning and paying for parking and finding a parking spot. And that's something that we've never done when we've done our Disney trips. At least Marcus and I have never done it that way. When I was a kid, we did that. But I don't know. That's like one of the main things that kind of holds me back from renting a house, is just knowing that it involves getting in a car and driving every day and looking for a parking spot and paying for parking, no access to extra magic hours, no access to the dining plan. And that's something that, I don't know, kind of turns me off from the idea. But maybe there are some other major advantages to it, and I don't know, maybe we will decide to do it that way. Or maybe we'll also do like 2 days in a house and 5 days at Coronado Springs. I don't know, that's also an option. Another option, and also something that we've never done, which is sort of a mix of the two, would be to stay at Downtown Disney in one of the Downtown Disney area hotels. Advantages: still kind of in the magical bubble, but for the money that you pay, you also get a little bit more hotel, a little bit more amenities. Of course, then, no extra Disney theming, but very close to Downtown Disney, and they all have some kind of transportation then to the parks. Or, worst case scenario, we just walk to Downtown Disney, take the buses from there to one of the resorts, and then from the resorts to the parks, which could also be kind of annoying, actually. But yeah, so that might be an interesting compromise. Or maybe what we'll do is stay one night in the Polynesian, one night at Disney Springs Resort, and then and then the rest of the time in one Disney resort. Moving around more than twice, well, actually it would be 3 times, is just something that I am not interested in. We've done split stays before where we stayed like 2 days at Universal and then 5 days at Disney or 6 days at Disney. And like I said, it's the checking in and the checking out and moving all your stuff. It takes like half a day, or it takes like an entire morning. And I would just much rather be relaxing and enjoying the parks or hanging out at the pool than checking in, checking out, moving all my bags, unpacking, repacking. I'm just not interested in doing that way. But I know some people do. Not for me. So those are, that is my Disney dilemma at the moment. How should we do this? What is going to be the funnest thing for us, the most interesting thing for us, and what is going to help me help you guys more? So if you have any thoughts about those things, get in touch. You know what to do. Write it in the comments below or send me a private message. And then we'll sort of, look at it, see what you guys had to say, and then sometime soon we'll make a decision. And now it's time to comment on your comments. All right, what I did is I went through this whole list of pictures and I made screenshots of my favorites, and then from those favorites, I made a selection. And like I said, it was so hard because I think there was like 140 different pictures. And so if I didn't take your picture, it's not because I don't like you or I didn't like your picture. It just I had to pick some favorites. And these are the ones that I picked. And I'm going to start here with this one from Maricela. This is in Sedona, Arizona. She writes a little road trip from Cali to Arizona to visit family. All right, I don't know which one of these is you, Mari, but I wanted to tell you how my mind works as a Disney fan. When I see, other people will look at this and say, oh, what a nice picture of 2 sisters with a nice, background. I bet they're having a nice road trip. And I look at it and I think, oh, are they at California Adventure? Is that Cars Land in the background or Big Thunder Mountain? And is she wearing a pin trading lanyard? So that's what goes through my head, or that's what went through my head when I looked at your picture. So Mari, thanks for sending that picture in. It made me think of Disney, and that makes me happy. Moving on, speaking of Disney, going to this picture from Jennifer Meyer. Jennifer writes, this is my daughter's first ride on Rock and Roller Coaster. Made the cost of Memory Maker totally worth it. Look at those kids. And if that's Dad there, it looks like he's having a good time as well. And if in case you're wondering, Memory Maker is something, a lot of the rides and attractions and some of, like the character greetings and stuff like that, they take your picture, or there are photographers to take your picture all around the parks. And if you buy like a Memory Maker package, then you can pick out certain, we've never had the whole package, but I know there's like a package where you like have unlimited access, and then you can just, get as many of those pictures as you want. So that's what Jennifer is talking about. But this just made me happy because it's just the look on everybody's faces is so funny. And I hope that nobody had a headache after that, because that ride bashes your head around. Moving on, here is another cool Disney pick. It's actually 2. And this was sent to me by Kim van Stala, or Kim van Stala. I hope I'm saying that right. Kim writes, what it is this is a picture of her boyfriend when he was a little boy, and now as an adult, from just back in 2017, taken in the same place in Epcot. And I just think this is so cool. I wish I had something like this. Maybe I should go back and look through my some of the old pictures I have of Disney and try to do the same thing. It's just cool to see that. You know what I mean? And to stand at that same place and see how the person has changed and how the background has changed. Look at the older pic. There's like trees like planted directly into the pathway. That's weird. So hi, Kim and Jerry. Thanks for sending those pictures. I really enjoyed this idea. I think it's so special. Staying with Disney, this is a pic sent in to me from Dan Bransfield, and this just made me so happy to see you guys up there smiling. It looks like you're having a great time, and of course that's the Magic Kingdom in the background. Gorgeous, gorgeous view. Two gorgeous, happy people smiling at Disney World. What's not to like about that? And I wrote to Dan saying, I bet you guys are at the California Grill, and he said, no, we're actually at, and I didn't copy the comments, but they were at the bar that's on top of the Bay Lake Tower. So thanks, Dan, for sending that in. I wish I was there with you guys right now at happy hour. This here is from Sam Richardson, and Sam writes, our family extended from 3 to 5 in January. This was our first family holiday to Tenerife in March. So I don't know which one of you guys is Sam, but if I understand it correctly, these are you guys' adopted kids, right? Or when you say your family extended from 3 to 5 in January, none of those look like infants, so this is how I'm deducting this information. None of those look like infants, so it's not like you had twins, right? Or, yeah, and I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys there, young and old, so I'm assuming that those are your adopted kids, and I think that's great. And you guys look like you're having so much fun, and yeah, I wish I was there with you guys right now too, and we could go down to the beach and play Frisbee. Thanks for sending that picture in, and hi to all you guys, and good luck with your great big family now. Here, moving on to this picture from Elizabeth Ryan. Elizabeth writes, views from the ancient theater in Taormina, Sicily. Not only was it our first trip to Europe, we were on the brand new Horizon, that is a Carnival ship, right? And these were the most amazing views we had ever seen. And then she writes, bonus, cruise ship sailing in the bay. And yeah, that's another thing. This is another thing that I think like a normal average person would look at this and say, oh, well, that's a nice picture. You guys look like you're having a good time. And me, and I'm sure a lot of you, are like, ooh, there's a cruise ship there. What ship is that? I wonder if I've cruised on it. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm sure you guys can relate. And thanks, Elizabeth, for sending in that picture. You guys look like you're having a great time. And it sounds like you did. Speaking of people having a great time, this picture was sent in from Jason Ross, and I forgot to copy the comments, but I remember you guys said you all went to Aladdin, and this is what you did afterwards. So Aladdin, the Broadway musical in New York. It looks like you just came from soccer practice or football practice, so maybe you were out doing some practice while the ladies went to Aladdin? I don't know. But there's one thing I noticed. You guys are all having desserts, and I don't see a single cone. But that's all right. We like you anyways. Thanks for sending in that picture. Speaking of cones, this picture was sent in to me from Derek from D&G Explorers. So they have a YouTube channel as well. You can go check out their channel, D&G Explorers. They were just on a Disney cruise, and they sent me this picture and wrote, and this is us having a cone just for you. So thanks, Derek. Thanks for that cone. Continuing talking about people having fun, because that was something that I really enjoyed to look at in these pictures, is the pictures of you guys having fun on your trips. These guys are from Booze Cruise, so if you haven't checked out that channel yet, go check out their channel. They do a lot of cruise vlogs and traveling vlogs. David sent this in and wrote, I don't have the original comment here, but it said that this is them climbing up the tallest tower in Copenhagen. And I've been there too. I've climbed up that tower. I know exactly what you guys are going through. The guy in the foreground, how he's like working it, and then in the back, you're like, what? I think this picture says a lot about you guys, and if everybody else enjoys looking at this picture right now, then go check out their YouTube channel, because this captures what it's like to hang out with them on YouTube. Thanks for sending that in. I think I've got 2 more pictures here, or 3 more. 3 more are coming up. So these are more people having a good time. Kim Surrett, or Surretti, sent me this picture. She says, tough to choose just one picture. Yeah, tell me about it. Look at how many I picked out when I only wanted to pick out like 2 or 3. She says, in 2016, we took one last family trip without the spouses while in... What? What does that mean? Oh, like just mom, dad, brother, and sister, and not like husband and wives. Okay, I get it. While in LA, we went to the taping of Let's Make a Deal, and there is so much fun going on in this picture. When I looked at this, the first thing I thought was, when I finally do a group cruise, or the first group cruise that I organize, you guys definitely need to come with, because you guys look like you're a lot of fun to hang out with. And did any of you guys get picked to like go up and participate? That would be interesting to know. Now we're coming to just cool pictures. This one, second to last one, this is from Rhonda McClarty Gullidge, and she writes, this was from Bonaire, beautiful water and undersea life. Yes, there is a cruise ship in the distance, which I didn't even notice actually, but we weren't on a cruise on this trip, and I didn't pick it out for the cruise ship. I just picked it out to look at the incredible colors of that water. Look at that. It's amazing. There's like 3 different colors of blue in that water, and that is just fantastic. And I think that the reason that that one stripe is so perfectly turquoise blue is probably because the sand underneath there is perfectly white. Isn't that how it works? And this is going to be the final picture I'm going to talk about. And it was sent to me from Jennifer Dowler Jackson. It's the Atlanta Aquarium in Georgia. And it has a whale shark in their main ocean tank. It was really cool, yeah. And that looks amazing. What a huge animal. Jeez. Would you get in the water in that tank? I'll tell you something. Forget it. I would never, ever. It's giving me sweaty palms just thinking about it. And I mean, even that manta ray or stingray or whatever that is swimming behind it is gigantic enough. That's big enough for me to say, nope, not gonna do it. All right, that was that. It's the first time I've ever done something exactly like that, but I had fun and I want to do it again. So just keep coming back, and eventually, look at social media, because that's where you guys can share the pictures with me. But I'm not going to do it in the next video. I'm going to go back to just commenting on the comments. But follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, because I will choose one of those mediums for the next time that I do this with the pictures. And by the way, on what is it called again? Instagram, I always do a hashtag, very unofficial travel guides. So if you just now anyways want to add that hashtag to your pictures, I'll start looking up that hashtag and I'll see, where you guys have tagged it, and then, I'll comment on your photos on Instagram too. So that's another fun way we can interact now as well. Thanks for coming. Also, as always, special thanks to the ever-growing list of VIPs over at patreon.com/veryunofficial. I'm so thankful for your guys' extra help, and it makes me feel really loved and appreciated that you guys go out of your way to become members over there and participate in that whole thing as well. So thank you guys so much. I hope you're having a great weekend, and the cruise videos are coming very, very soon. So look forward to that. Bye-bye.